Walk me through the next few months because you published a great Barrington Declaration. It was really important, so thank you for doing that because I remember talking about it. I remember quoting it when I was running for mayor because my solution was to open up. And I remember constantly quoting your paper saying, look, we can open things up. We can get these cab drivers back. We can get these businesses back. We can protect the elderly, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a major moment. You experienced a lot of personal backlash. I know you hadn't been used to being in public life, let alone that kind of drama and hate. I've been there as well. What was that like for you personally? And then the next few months, I know you kind of jump on Twitter and then you soon find out what happens with your Twitter profile. But walk me through what that was like for you personally and then how you also got a little more famous on social media.
Yeah, so I mean, I personally, it was a mix of exhilaration and just trauma. I don't know how else to put it. So many of my friends, I hope not. I hope that like at least one-time friends. I hope maybe future you can make some reconciliation with them. But they broke with me on this. But I got. The people like would defriend me on Facebook as a punishment. I was so juvenile. But then there was like just continual death threats whenever or racist attack. Go back to your home country. I'm of Indian extraction, so living in the United States, and so it's to go back to your home country. Those kinds of things. It was just so odd. Every time I would write something, and I was trying my best during this time to like make a public case for it. So I'd write op-ed after op-ed after op-ed. Whenever someone would invite me to appear on TV or be on a podcast, I'd say yes. And so I was trying to make as best I can, like reach as many people as I could with the message, because it was really clear that the mainstream media wasn't going to cover it fairly. And so it was both exhilarating trying to get this message out that we can do better. We can actually save a lot of lives if we follow this strategy. And I had this sense of urgency that we were going to lock down again if we didn't. And it was so disappointing when we actually did. Like I felt like we'd failed in December of 2020 when the UK lockdown, the US lockdown, much of the US lockdown. It's just, and then when schools didn't open in the U.S. in many states, especially blue states, it was really traumatic because I live in California. My kids didn't see it inside of a classroom for a year and a half. So it was from a personal point of view, it was both quite exciting to be able to participate in this like massively important policy discussion. This is what I do for a living. I do health policy, but the way I'd done that before had been to write papers in scientific journals, peer reviewed, and hope that someone notices it. Whereas like this was like directly participating in it was really quite exhilarating, but it was traumatic. I mean, my skin was thicker than it was in March of 2020. My own university attacked me in ways. I didn't anticipate that happening, and although it did in 2021, it got worse. At my own university, people started going after me in concrete ways that they hadn't before. So it was traumatic and exhilarating at the same time.
What's that relationship been like with Stanford, with the professors at Stanford, and then how has it gone over time, and including how is it today?
Well, 2021 was a low point for me, Brian. So in terms of my relationship I've been at Stanford for 37 years, wow. First as a student and then as a professor. There were so I made my mistake was that I gave a policy roundtable, the sitting governor of Florida in March of 2021. It was publicly televised and then put on YouTube. And the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, asked me if there was any evidence that masking children as young as 2 years old, which is what we did in the United States, had any effect on disease spread. Did masking toddlers work? Did masking children work? And I told them I'd prepared for this. I'd looked in the literature. There was no randomized studies at all of masking children. There was no high quality data at all suggesting masking children had any effect on the disease spread. And so I said this. And of course, there's been potentially some harms. Like there've been autistic moms and dads calling me up saying, moms and dads of autistic children calling me up saying that their kids were harmed by masking. Parents of deaf children calling me up saying that their kids were harmed by masking. So I had that in the back. I said, look, no, not every kid is harmed by masking, but there may be some. So I said this. YouTube then censored that video of a television station filming me talking to the governor of Florida because of this mask. And then 100 of my colleagues at Stanford wrote a petition in that summer asking the president of the university to censor me, a secret petition that they circulated behind my back, with the head of the Department of Epidemiology, Melissa Bondi, sort of endorsing it, as asking the president of the university to censor me. But by that time, it was like summer of 2020. I knew more people in the press. So what I did is I asked some friends of mine in the press to go to write a story about this if they were interested, and they did. So they went to ask the president of the university, expose the secret petition. He was forced to say that no, we're not going to censor Jay because we believe in academic freedom. Felt like through gritted teeth, but whatever. And then right around that same time, all around campus, these posters went up with a picture of me talking to the governor of Florida. And then it was like the Delta wave in the summer of 2021 in the South. So they were like accusing me of killing people in Florida. And these posters went up all over campus, like as if I'm a murderer, all over campus. I was actually physically scared to walk on campus for a couple of days because of these posters. And I complained. I said, look, this is a hostile work environment. But then Stanford did nothing about that. So I figured, okay, I already am all in. I just started going back to campus anyways, because it was so, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's my home, and I'm basically being vilified and attacked in my home for a sensible policy where the data are showing that policy, which we followed for a century of respiratory virus pandemics, had worked then and had worked in places that had followed it here now. And yet, Florida's all-cause excess deaths through the pandemic are lower than, almost equivalent to or lower than California. And Florida was much more liberal in its policies than California was. California closed schools. Florida opened them in fall of 2020. So it's just, for Stanford, it was really tough. Now it's a little bit better. 2022 really changed things. I think when Omicron hit and most people, even in California, realized that they were probably going to get it, the disease, that they couldn't, through craziness, hide themselves away from the disease forever. I think most people started to, like, their attitudes started to change. That people's minds started to change, and I've now reconciled with several people. We've had, it's been heartening to see the direction of that. There's still a lot more to do. I don't know exactly. I don't know if I can go back to being a quiet professor. I like that whole enterprise now seems a little more. I don't know what I was thinking back then before 2020. What I thought I was doing is apparently not exactly what the enterprise of doing science, and hoping that people will notice the science because it's good science. That works in an environment where the scientific establishment is healthy. That's exactly how science ought to be done when scientific establishment is healthy. But I think it's clear to me that the scientific establishment is not healthy, and so therefore that kind of engagement with science isn't the right. It's going to be other things that are going to decide whether your science is going to be impactful or not. Politics, money, power. So I think I'd like to work now using my. Well, we can talk about social media in a second, but using my platform to try to reform science, because it just needs it. I don't know if I can go back to that old way of being anymore.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real. and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.